Good morning, and welcome to episode 44 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. Over the past week and months, we've seen inflationary pressures continue to mount. We're seeing it in consumer prices as the inflation figures continue to come up in levels not seen since the 1970s. Now, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will have you believe this is transitory. However, last week we saw a print for producer prices at about 8.3%, and that is something that will eventually find its way into consumer prices. So it doesn't look like this train is stopping, folks. It doesn't look like it's transitory. We're on the express to inflation. Make no mistake about it. Over the past 2 years, we have spent trillions of dollars on various stimulus measures, and this week we hear that the bill is coming due. I understand the House is trying to push through legislation right now that will hike taxes by $3 trillion. This is if it goes through, the largest tax increase in U.S. history. Now, we don't know if it's going to go through or not. I know that is the plan. This is how they're going to pay for some of that stimulus, some of those trillions in the debt. But understand that this direct tax is not just the only tax. The other tax is an insidious one. It is based on the fact that we have expanded the money supply, and every dollar in your wallet is worth less. So you're looking at two different taxes here, a direct one and a weakening dollar tax. Make no mistake, they're both coming. I'd like to share with you an excellent question that we received this past week from Julie Murphy. Julie says, thanks for the update. Is it better to physically own your gold or invest offshore? Seems like every country is volatile and difficult to rely on with one's assets. Julie, thank you for the question. Excellent question, and it allows me to highlight one of my thoughts. Now, this may not work for everybody, but I am a true believer that for your wealth insurance, gold, it has to be available for a potential financial crisis you hope you never have. By definition, gold as wealth insurance is a store of purchasing power in a liquid form for a potential financial crisis you hope you never have. If your gold, your wealth insurance, is halfway around the world, it's not going to be there immediately available for you if you have a crisis financially. So I always suggest that folks start with taking physical delivery, typically of 1 ounce sovereign gold coins, maybe some junk silver for divisibility. Have that close at hand up into the point where you feel like you can meet any foreseeable short-term financial crisis till you can access funds elsewhere, potentially gold stored offshore, and you don't want to also exceed the threshold where you feel comfortable safeguarding and storing it yourself. Anything over and above those thresholds, you need to go ahead and put in the hands of the professionals. And those who have followed us over the years, you know that my first thought here is the Perth Mint certificates, Perth Mint depository online. This has got to be the safest, most cost-effective way to own metals. But again, I always look at it as the second step. Second step. You go there after you have your immediate in-your-hand metals taken care of. Let's take a look at the prices over the past week. Gold is up slightly, 0.25% to 1803 this morning per ounce versus 1798.70 last week. Silver is down 2% to 23.89 from 24.42 last week. Platinum is down 6%, 946 the figure this morning versus $1,008 last week. But it's not your big loser over the past week. 14.5% down is Palladium, down to 2104 this morning from 2464. The gold-silver ratio is up slightly as gold ticked up slightly and silver ticked down slightly. It's at 75.75 this week versus 73.91 last week. And the US dollar, not surprisingly, is down about 0.25% from 92.66 last week to 92.47 this week. Interesting that gold's up 0.25% and the dollar's down 0.25%. Folks, are you prepared? Inflation is coming. This train is not going to stop. Make no mistake about it. Make sure you're taking the steps now to buy well. And as you do, do not forget about your IRA. Great place to store some wealth insurance for a rainy day in retirement. As always, I'd like you to follow us and like us on YouTube. Subscribe to our different publications and follow us on social media at Asset Strategies International. And don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.